Before we get onto the video, I just want to make clear that this was a video that I made before I really started making videos for the channel. So it's a bit rubbish. It's not a great video, but nonetheless, I decided to re-upload it because I had to change around a few things because YouTube didn't like it in the first place when I tried to do it. But yeah, here it is. Please excuse the fact that it's rubbish. But enjoy nonetheless, and be sure to check out my other videos, which are much better. Thank you.
Back in 2001, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone was released, starting the series of 8 films that would be Harry Potter, all based around one boy, and you guessed it, that is Harry Potter. Now, what makes these films so great is it really defined a generation of filmmakers, especially for me being born in the early 2000s, and for a lot of kids as well born in the late 90s. It really kind of was amazing to see a fantasy world like this based off someone that was so kind of, relatable. He had so many struggles, and, he hated his life, and he was just lucky in a sense that when he was 11, he gets to escape into this world he couldn't even dream of. And to be honest, the magical world is sort of scary, but yet it's still so kind of compelling. And the stories that kind of unfold for him and the friends he makes and the people he meets is really something else. And just in this first Sorting Hat ceremony, you really start to kind of feel like, wow, this is nothing I've seen before. And the people that you see and how you kind of get your first impressions of them. But later in the series, not everyone is who they seem. And it's really fantastic, really well written. Just the moments that kind of define the series are dotted throughout because there's so many amazing things, genius storytelling comes up with, and, really makes people dive in and want to learn as much as they can because, the audience is learning alongside Harry. So therefore, kind of every time he's happy, every time he's sad, you kind of relate to that and you get those feelings. You feel like this amazing story is almost happening to you, and though many people argue, the books were so much better, they were fantastic, but the beauty of film is that it can really drag you in, and some of, these amazing moments only really get brought to life by that means. As Harry tries to forget the old, he really starts to learn and, realize that he can wake up and he's somewhere he wants to be. And it's so special that this story of just this nobody becomes famous in this world that is so much greater than his own. And, he loves it, for now anyway, because of the mysteries and all the adventures that he can get up to and all the discoveries that he can make. But the wonder is all still there, the wonder of fantasy. Why I called it this is that, especially as a kid, all of this amazes you. You end up questioning what is going on, and it's really, really enjoyable just to see all the different places and the surprises that they hold, and that every choice that Harry makes really feels important, and the story really plays out as in, you have to be smart in, who you mix with, the choices that you make. Really phenomenal storytelling. In a lot of cases, it's hard for him to choose. He doesn't know. He's learning so much, as everyone does in the real world. Some people have more help than others, but not everything's very straightforward. And he starts to realize that he has to stick up for people, and he has to be a leader, even when he's never really been led himself. just the beauty of the film also lies in, you know, the fact that he loves being who he is. He loves the fact that he feels special, but that changes so quickly in the later stories. He's famous. He's treated like a god almost. As of yet, there hasn't been much danger or peril. He can just sort of just relax in the moment and just enjoy all this amazing stuff that is revealed to him. But then obviously as the story grows and the more magic that is revealed, it's revealed that there's dark magic as well. And Chris Columbus really does an amazing job at capturing this. When later on you start to see with things like the final fight or the chess game or when he sneaks into the restricted section, it's not all happiness and everyone's laughing and clapping and having a good time. You start to realise that even in this fantasy world that seems so great, there's also these really bad things and these monsters that kind of lurk around each corner. But, you know, once again, it's the beauty of it. It's the kind of idea of when you're storytelling in a fantasy world, your ideas are limitless. And J.K. Rowling did an amazing job in kind of just freeing her mind almost in creating these stories. And then the ability to bring these onto the screen really makes a joy for everyone. And I'll bring it back again to the audience learning alongside Harry. They're going along, they're seeing all this stuff, and you know, it's really quite amazing to experience all this stuff for the first time. And in later films, you know, like Fantastic Beasts, the best part was seeing Jacob struggle. Well, not struggle really, but enjoy the wonders of this fantasy world. But forget those films, concentrate on this. And these films are so much better because the atmosphere that these films created, and with a setting like Hogwarts for most of the films they place in, is so perfect because you really get dragged into the story when you're in the location. All the stories kind of tie in, you know, when you see Ron play chess at the beginning, you see him later on being the one that leads the trio through the chessboard game and sacrifice himself. And once again, another lesson for Harry to realise that, you know, not everything's kind of, you know, sunshine and daisies, you know, not everything's happy. He has to deal with these struggles, these difficulties that are put in front of him. The fact that he is special means that he's got a lot to deal with. With great power becomes great responsibility, basically, and he starts to learn that. But with these amazing sets and again, the atmosphere, the feeling, the music, you know, the score written by John Williams is just phenomenal. And, you know, the acting as well. But it's not just the younger actors that give great performances, it's, you know, the older actors as well. Like Alan Rickman especially, even in these early films, you can really kind of feel his presence as Professor Snape. And it's just fantastic, every single thing about it. Robbie Coltrane as Hagrid, such a warm character that is always a pleasure to see on screen. And all these cameos, like John Cleese as Nearly Headless Nick, really, really fantastic. And the fantasy just keeps pushing forward and the wonder of it all. But once again, you know, the audience is learning alongside the characters. This first film is an introduction to a really phenomenal series that deserves to be on a pedestal when it comes to filmmaking. Really fantastic. And through the later series, we see the characters grow, especially the main three. And you know, through all the joys as well as the struggles, it's really, really fantastic series, and The Philosopher's Stone, I don't think gets enough credit in how well it, really pushed the story and really made it grow into what it became. All the way to the last moments of the last film. It kind of gives you this retrospective where you can look back. As you yourself are now older, so are the characters. And you can look back and think, wow, that story was amazing. And that was when, for Harry, life truly begun.